The video you're about to see is actually censored. It was unable to be uploaded as it was, even though all the video clips I use are from YouTube itself. Didn't matter, got a community guideline strike. So here's the censored version, or if you want the uncensored version, you can see it on Odyssey for some reason, or StoryFire, which actually has standards. Whichever you choose, enjoy.
The following program contains material which may be considered offensive by some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Hello, CraftyAndy here. This is CraftyArts where we art. Life is good, is it not? Up until the point where you hit adulthood and have to take on responsibilities, work a dead-end job, and play the funny man all the time. As you can tell by looking at me, I'm a high-functioning adult with high-functioning brain. Very sophisticated. But sometimes, god damn it. Get those kids off my lawn! Didn't I tell you what would happen if you don't get those kids off my lawn? Oh, jeez. Sorry about that. Alright, where were we? Oh my god, Karen! I understand. We all understand. Your baby was stabbed. Yeah, cry some more. Call the cops, pull out your cell phone, record some video. Sure, go on, whatever. Anyways, I can't help but reminisce sometimes about the wonderful advantages and perks that come with being young. And the carefree nature that is just inherently a part of youth. That's what we're going to talk about today.
I just want to show my appreciation to how much I love kids and teens between the ages of 12 and 17. Why are kids so fucking stupid? Did their parents not beat them hard enough? Just fucking beat them already.
I was just being ironic, man.
Today, we have a little drawing of a mischievous little kid. Could be a boy, could be a girl, could be somewhere in between since gender is on a spectrum after all. However, this really does pertain to the majority who are relatively normal. So why is this little person looking so mischievous, you might wonder? Well, they have discovered the power of their youth. Since this person is not an adult, there are a multitude of advantages to their state of being. This person can be just an outright bully to their peers, get enough friends and clout, and it can be a glorious group effort joy to tear someone down, mentally, and even push them around a little. A love tap here, a sock to the stomach there, a little stabbing of the pencil.
Alexis was stabbed with the pencil, choked, and elbowed in the neck. In all, the abuse lasted about 12 minutes.
It's all good, as long as you don't put them in the hospital or leave any sizable marks. You'll be fine. Go wild. Beat that faggot up.
And started kicking me in the face. She caught me on the chin a couple of times. It was like she kicked me and I'd fall to the side, and as I get up, another foot would come at me, and it was like a constant battle basically to get up and run.
They're asking for it, being all quiet and shy and liking weird things you don't like, unless they are a girl. Only girls can bully other girls and boys.
8:30 tomorrow morning. Be there with my homework.
If you're a boy bullying another girl, then that just makes you look like a jerk. Just a little limitation to the amount of other things that are fair game while being young. Like stalking someone around the school in between classes, or after class as they try to walk home to get away from such an alpha Chad as yourself. What would be considered harassment, physical assault, and stalking as an adult doesn't really apply to you in this case. You're just an innocent little child after all.
Howard Inslee, I'm the sheriff here in Murray County. We have school resource officers in the school, and they're there to protect the children.
Mr. Inslee, last year when 2 children beat Tyler up, your school resource officer refused to file the charges. I had to fight. Here what we get is nothing's wrong. We didn't do anything. Everything's fine.
Boys will be boys, girls will be girls, and weirdos are the playthings to take your anger out on. They are destined to become awkward little adults, often eager to please others to their detriment.
Even the coaches, I had nobody to turn to. One day at lunch, I had my head shoved in the urinal where it busted my lip. I had laid on the ground in a fetal position as the kids kicked me, and they sent me home. Well, I went home and I got the 45 out of my father's drawer and put it in my mouth. Because at this point, I had nobody in the school system to help me. Is that the way this is going to be? Lance, you were the one that shoved my head in the urinal. Thank you.
Tell you what, this is unbelievable.
When it comes to the targets of your bullying though, you have to choose wisely. If you push the same kid over and over again, there might come a point where he snaps and then either takes you out or flings you into the air. You also don't want to bite off more than you can chew. In the case of this kid here, we'll call him Yellow Shirt, who decided to challenge an adult after going around vandalizing cars. And so he ended up having instant regret.
Fuck you and your fucking people and fucking child abuse! You fucking trying to joke me!
A good move though, trying to weaponize your age in your defense. After all, you are a little innocent kid. No adult should be allowed to push you around in any manner. You can do the same thing online. Any reaction you get out of a person is a win when it comes to the comments you make to them.
But even after news spread that Rosalie committed suicide, family says students still made fun of her, posting this image of her face near a grave online.
It doesn't even have to be restricted to someone within your age group. It could be a full-on adult. Even online, the person who was bullied at school in person can now become the empowered bully themselves, getting their own satisfaction in watching triggered snowflakes. And if a target gets some anonymous calls at work that gets them fired, death threats, a mail-in surprise, oh well.
Today's video, we're gonna be going through the top 10 YouTubers who got sent shit in their fan mail.
I love baby shit!
It's their fault for having wrong think on the internet, or just being weird in a way that you don't like. Fuck them. Score 10 points if they off themselves from this plane of existence.
A Henderson County teenager took her own life over week. Now has
But then I realized that I was never this stupid. My friends were never this stupid. Y'all are just dense, dense, dense.
Another advantage to your youth is having a total disregard of the things that are not yours, and the things that are yours, actually. The world is your plaything, as it is a slap on the wrist when it comes to destruction. You can carelessly treat your own stuff like shit, because your parents will always get you new stuff. Leave your games out and lose them, pile on Cheeto dust into your controller to the point where the buttons no longer function, drive your vehicle recklessly through garbage.
Warm it up, warm up, warm up. Oh my god. No! Oh, we fucked that up! Oh shit, there's a car coming! Harvey got him. Honk at him, honk at him. Yeah!
Piss on the floor at some party, or just piss on the floor in general. It's expected.
Oh, he's pissing. Oh my god, he's pissing on the floor, guys. Never been done.
Sure, your parents might punish you, but realistically, they can punish you only so far. The law could punish you. Again, you'll be fine as long as you limit yourself.
The 12-year-old is completely out of control, and I can't, physically, if she's as big as I am, I can't control her.
Okay, did you want us to come over to shoot her? Are you there?
Excuse me?
For example, me and my friends would have our little destructive moments on the road. We would always discard our fast food out the window onto people's cars.
This burrito is delicious, but it is filling.
You know, drinks, some burgers. But we had lines, though. We'd had lines we wouldn't cross. For instance, one time we had a friend that insisted that we should just blow up a car. You know, stuff a gas rag in the gas tank and just blow it up. We had to wrangle him in a bit. Same person also suggested that we just take a brick and smash a window. Just a random window at a building or a car or whatever. Once again, had to rein them in because the consequences were just a little too far in that point. But no one's going to make much of a big deal over some fast food on their car. Once again, there were some lines there. Wouldn't throw fast food through an open window. If it was an open top vehicle, no drinks in there either. If it was a good looking car, like an actual car that someone gave a shit about and put work in, would leave that one alone too. You always got to have a line on these things because the person would just get that much more angry and likely result in your punishment. But this is only if you get caught. As the saying goes, hey, if a cop didn't see it, I didn't do it.
If you're under 17, please don't ever talk to me. You think this is part of the act, but please don't come near me.
Speaking of lying, that leads us to the even more empowering feature of being young: sex.
It gets bigger when I pull on it.
You can have all the infidelity you want and no long-lasting consequences. As long as you don't get a disease or beaten up by the girl's/boy's boyfriend, you'll be fine. You can lie about your age and get on adult dating websites, no problem. And if you lure some naive, barely an adult into having sex with you, well, you got them by the balls. Especially if you're gay or a young female.
Had consensual sex? She told him she was 17. Truth be told, she was just 14 years old. What do I say? I feel that nothing should happen to Zach. Even her mother asked for leniency. The victim's mother. I don't want him to be a sex offender because he really is not. And I know there's an age difference and I realize she was inappropriate that night. But the judge came down harshly, saying, you went online, to use a fisherman's expression, trolling for women, to meet and have sex with. That seems to be part of our culture now. Meet, hook up, have sex, sayonara. Totally inappropriate behavior. There is no excuse for this whatsoever.
It's like my whole life was just stripped away right there.
The law shows no mercy on anyone having sex with a teenager because the law looks at a 16-year-old the same way as they look at a 6-year-old when it comes to the registry.
He could not, he's not able to live in our home because his brother's 15. He's not allowed to live in a home with a minor. He's not allowed to live in a home that has any internet access. He's not allowed to possess a computer
or a smartphone.
He can't go to a restaurant that serves alcohol, period.
So just think of how much a person will bend over backwards to please you under the threat of going to the cops. You don't even need to have sex. Just get their info and you're set. Even being accused is enough for a person to lose their job and any future prospects, as it will be on their record regardless of the results. No matter what you do, you'll always be seen as the victim. The accused person is fucked. It's their fault after all. The majority will always see the accused as a rapist no matter the circumstances that led to their registration. They won't care. Pedos are the only most hated thing below furries, and they'll get off on the ideas of torturous punishment fantasies, even if what you did was 20 years ago at 18. It's not even necessary to manipulate an adult to take advantage of this. Plenty of teens and kids are placed on the registry as well. Someone sends you a unwanted dick pic, solicitation of a minor. Even if that dick pic is underage, in fact that's a double whammy. It will then be labeled as solicitation of a minor and owning CP, even if that person is the one that sent it. It's a no-lose situation. So if there is someone you really despise, this is the most powerful tool at your disposal, especially if the target is queer. And if you're caught lying about this sort of thing, what happens? Nothing. Nothing. As long as you keep your mouth shut, you'll always be seen as the victim. In fact, there are people who actively use this leverage. There is a Discord group I monitor who actively targets queer and general weirdos for having wrong think, trying to get them to incriminate themselves or get them doxxed by pretending to be friends with them. At least one of the people on here, David, RLTG, claims to be a minor. and it's pretty obvious from the YouTube videos he posts that he is.
I don't know why, but Dad thinks I won't do well at school if I have my things. I have the only things that make me happy, so he took away everything.
I'm not about to engage with someone who is half my age and has twice the amount of free time to spare. Him and his buddies, Coco Blocks and Beosic Productions, who love using everyone's favorite racial slur, neighbor, primarily hate the gays and furries, especially, and actively try to get into 18-only fetish groups. Mainly the focus is to target individuals, become friends with them, in an effort to potentially get their targets to intentionally or unintentionally incriminate themselves. Either way, it doesn't matter. I don't know the specific people they are going after in these examples I've captured. Maybe they are pieces of shit that deserve it. Or these people who, at least one claims to be a minor, who post gore videos, claim to be pedos themselves, are just taking advantage of the fact that depending on where you live, being open about your existence might be detrimental to your well-being, or you're just different in general and find solace in making friends online. In other words, just as being young and not self-sufficient can make you the target of online predators and predators in person, especially Uncle Frank. Keep an eye on Uncle Frank.
It's Frank. It's Uncle Frank.
No.
You remember?
No.
Come to Daddy.
Get the fuck off of me!
Other predators can take advantage of you being part of some harmless niche group that isn't widely accepted or is generally ridiculed for being too weird. Because your existence in any true and public form is an offense in itself. And if they feel like they got what they need, they will make an effort to contact authorities and get them arrested.
Listen, kids, being edgy is okay, but the same 10 jokes in a row, that's not okay. Okay. If you're gonna be racist, at least be original, please.
Yeah, we're dead serious.
Then there's a situation with Christine Chandler, an autistic adult that was targeted by online trolls since 2006. It also involved the grooming of a 13-year-old named Blue Spike into having phone sex with Christine while pretending to be a full adult woman.
Chris, you've been having sex for a 13-year-old boy, you sick fuck.
After the curtain was thrown back, the child had this mentally disabled man at the time humiliate himself on the internet in order to avoid this child calling the police.
If you truly want your self-dignity to be remained, then you will send me that video of you shoving in the day up your anus. Or I will tell everyone what you've been doing, and all the fans will believe that you are half.
And recently, as many people know, in 2021, Christine Chandler was manipulated, again, into having sex with their mother by sociopath Isabella Loretta Janke. Granted, born in 2001, still she's barely an adult herself according to the state. Point is, in relation to this topic, did anything happen to Blue Spike? No. And if Isabel was a minor, nothing would ever happen to her either. So, her being an adult though, let's see what did happen to her. She got doxxed to hell and driven off the public sphere of the internet, but last I checked, when it comes to hiring managers for jobs and careers, they don't do Encyclopedia Dramatica checks on potential employees. She's right up there with the worst kinds of people you never want the attention of.
The next slide shows chat logs of Bella admitting to having murdered 8 different hamsters, fondly recalling blowing one up, as well as boiling another. Attached was an alleged photo of the latter acts, with the caption, "Swim, fucker, swim." But, by extension, Bella refuses to use cleaning products, and from the images shared, gets fungal infections on her fingers and toenails, so severe that she's resorted to removing them and gluing them back on.
Rich family, so she doesn't have to work. On top of that fact, she's not arrested for any of the alleged abuses to people and animals.
She'd actually become infamous among her real-life peers for the extreme lengths she went to display her degeneracy on campus. On August 7th, a student named Roman posted a thread on Twitter, revealing that Isabella had been the subject of a Title IX investigation. A Title IX refers to the process used to examine allegations of gender-based discrimination and sexual harassment.
That fact alone should say it all right there. If she was a minor, then there is no chance anything would happen to her. A young adult, maybe, but doubtful. She's already back in college pursuing a degree that I can guess doesn't lead into a career that'll keep her away from kids and other animals. Maybe we'll hear from her again 20 years from now. See, that's another advantage you have with your youth. Being able to start again.
Jimmy, it's past your bedtime.
Dad, no.
Get back to
Dad,
bed.
I was just being ironic.
I don't care.
No, Dad.
You're being a piece
please,
of shit.
No.
Take these thanks, you little bitch.
Oh, no, Daddy.
Now, the closest I ever came to anything like this was when me and my husbands were on a hookup app that's 18 and older. There was this person that came on. First he talked to me, and then he talked to one of my husbands. We just shot the shit back and forth. Likes, dislikes, who are you, where do you live, who's your daddy, and what does he do?
My mom!
But then I looked at his profile, in my case, and his profile said straight up that he was 15 years old. So first off, the alarm bells go off. Nope, 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 nope. And in his bio, his description is, I just want to be friends with people. I don't understand why people make such a big deal about age. Age is just the number. Yeah, so is 10 to 20 years. And now let's just pretend for narrative that this person was not just bait, that he wasn't just some plant trying to bait someone into being a dumbass. First off, you're stupid enough to put your real age online. When I was 18, I was 18 for 6 years of my life. If you get my drift. I was able to go on any website, go anywhere I wanted to go. And I sure as hell wasn't gonna talk to strangers online. So that already says one bad thing about your intelligence. Second of all, that aside, if there's an adult you find that is dumb enough to invite you over, wouldn't even matter if it was for sex or not. No one's gonna look at that situation in any favorable sense. 99% of the people that live on Earth are going to assume that there's some heinous act going on, and you will not have a good time. But shortly after all this, his profile was banned, and I hope I never see him again.
I was just kidding. That crying was ironic. I wasn't actually crying.
What the fuck did you just say? You want me to come back here?
Now, back in high school, specifically, there were some incidents that, given the right circumstances, me and any of my friends could have had their entire lives ruined. For me, it's pretty mundane. When I graduated high school, I was already 18, and I drove by the high school with my ass out the window, flipping them off at the same time, too. Little did I know that was enough to potentially put me on the registry if I were to get arrested. And if you don't know how that works in this country, you are on it for life, no matter what state it is. One of my friends was dating someone who was 14 while they were 16. Age of legal consent is 16 in Michigan. So at least for a year and a half, given the right circumstances, yet again, if the parents called him out or his girlfriend was really, really angry, she could have just called the cops, said they had sex. Police probably would have negotiated a plea deal out of him, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have a wife and 3 kids 17 years later. Another friend of mine, while he was 15, sent a picture of his dick wearing a top hat. He sent this out to a number of girls who were a little taken back by it and looking for whoever did it. Well, if that was turned over into the school or the authorities, first off, it would be considered CP, even though the person that took the picture was that person. And having it on your phone actually is another means of getting you arrested. If the police feel like they can charge you with a crime, they're gonna charge you with a crime, especially if they're confident that you're too poor to afford your own lawyer. Many years later, I've actually gotten to know people who posted porn of themselves online when they were 16 of age. It's no wonder Pornhub decided to verify identities in order to post on there now. Again, crossing the line here because it's one of the few ways you can get yourself in a grandiose amount of trouble. There's already 250,000 people on the registry who were under 18. And to put that in perspective, that's at least a quarter of the amount of people on the registry, which is around 800,000. Imagine ruining your life forever at the age of 9 years old without actually raping anybody or exploiting anyone or hurting anyone. So enjoy the power of your youth while you have it, because there will be no consequences for your ill actions, be it bullying, destruction, or sex. Unless you're a minority class and are very poor. But let's face it, the most surefire way to get away with a lot of this shit is to be white. Yes, there's so many wonderful memories I carry with me involving all my best friends all throughout the years growing up. Playing video games throughout the night until the sun rises, keeping our parents up, riding bikes all throughout the neighborhood, getting into little bits of mischief here and there. Didn't murder anybody, not that we're willing to admit. Good times, good times. Not to mention watching R-rated movies that we weren't supposed to be watching. I even had my first exposure to a porno in the 6th grade. It didn't have any ill effects on me. Well, I hear the sirens. Looks like this is an end of an episode, and probably the end of me. Well, till next time, you ain't taking me alive!
So here's to another filthy year.
Like, subscribe, share, give me ideas for topics and or art in the comments, or email me. CraftyAndy Patreon for high-res art, files, and sketchbook, and early episodes. Also CraftyAndy under the Art Pal store for prints and art gallery. This channel's mainly focused on entertainment and art, but if you want some real weirdness, go to the Weirdzore's channel. Check that out. There is also an invite in the description for our Discord group. You can meet other creators such as myself, live streamers, gamers, artists. It's all there. Like, subscribe, share. As I said, good day.